The following program is intended for a mature listening audience. Graphic and explicit language may be heard at times. The views expressed and opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily express those of this station or sponsors. Listeners are advised that neither the station nor owners and agents will be held liable for the content of this program. Rebroadcast, redistributed, or reused without the express written permission without the host or producer is not allowed. You are listening to Family Spirit International.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Blaine. How's it going?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. Monday night.
Monday night. We've got a great show tonight. We've got some really great ladies coming on from the beach area of South Carolina. I mean, if you stop and think of the beach, man, there's a lot of paranormal things that have happened there. There's pirates, there's shipwrecks, there's all kinds of people fighting over things coming in from sea, fighting over sailors. There's just a bunch of things. So it's pretty crazy. And they have some really cool things that they've seen. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show their photos because I'm doing this by myself, producing. So we'll see what we get. But so what have you been up to? How are things going?
Oh, they're going great. And I think you can do that if you go down to present.
Uh-huh.
And I think you can pull up that stuff through there and just present it through there.
Okay, let's see if I can do that. I'll give it a shot.
Give it a whirl.
Yeah. So let's see. I want to let everybody know that the Discovery Channel will be bringing paranormal from the beach to TV this summer. It should be fantastic. And there's also inside the U.S. Sun. Well, there's U.S. Sun magazine, but there's also a website, and they are hosting a Monsterland Woods where Bigfoot, UFOs, and the supernatural are all together, and they have glowing orbs that's seen all over the place in that area. So that's some interesting news to check out. Let's see. We have Expedition X crew investigating Mackinac Island, which is going to be really great. That's what the Discovery Channel will be talking about later on this summer. And it seems like, Blaine, that paranormal podcasts are the style.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's talking about it. Listening to a good ghost story podcast seems to be the best thing to do with either a mug of tea or maybe a glass of wine, something like that. The Paranormal Circus is bringing scares to San Antonio, and they're doing a huge tour this year. So be looking for those tickets. There's just a lot of things going on. It seems to be in vogue to be a ghosty.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's funny. Before we were like, the redheaded stepchildren. Now it's like, oh, this is the thing now. Let's jump into this. So we've been in forever.
We've been doing it forever, man.
Hey, we were investigators before it was cool to be investigators.
Yeah, I think Reba sang about being country before country was cool.
Yep.
Well, we were paranormal before the paranormal was cool.
Actually, that was my good friend Barbara Mandrell. No, she's not my friend, but she's from Alabama. So.
Oh, is she? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm going to bring on Christopher real quick. Here's Christopher. Hey, buddy. How are you?
All right, the paranormal circuit is pretty cool, actually.
Have you seen it?
The San Antonio one, yes, past couple days, yes, because friends have streamed it to me.
Oh, how cool. So everybody that's listening, that's watching, Christopher's manning all the chat rooms. We've got a bunch. Please feel free to, post messages. Christopher's going to let us know when we have a question. I do hear a little echo, Christopher. I'm going to minimize you again so that we can figure that out, okay?
I know it is a little turn off one source.
Okay, I'm going to minimize you, and then I'm bringing our ladies on. Here we go. So this is Erin Edge. Hey, Erin.
Hi,
Hello.
Erin.
Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you.
Pleasure.
Yes.
So, Erin is a paranormal investigator in the Myrtle Beach area.
Mhm.
And she's basically she's got photos from investigation a few weeks ago, and she's really baffled. And the team is split down the middle, so she sent them over to us, and she's got comparisons side by side that she's also sent. So it's pretty interesting. Erin is basically asking for like questions and what do you think, kind of a thing. She is the founder of Ghost of the Coast Paranormal. Isn't that adorable, Ghost of the Coast?
That is funny.
Yeah, and she's always been fascinated by the paranormal since she was little, and she's had numerous experiences. And going on official paranormal investigations has been her number one on her bucket list. And now she's getting to do it almost every weekend. She looks forward to continuing to learn and grow as a paranormal investigator. The top location she hopes to investigate one day is the Allegheny. Did I say that right? Allegheny Lunatic
Allegheny.
Allegheny. There it is.
Uh.
And of course, the Waverly Hills. I mean, who doesn't want to go to
Well,
that, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I warn you about Waverly. Wear clothes you don't mind getting dirty because you will get filthy in that place.
Oh yeah.
Trans Allegheny the same way. I've been to both. Very active. Real fun stuff on third floor.
Here,
Yeah.
I'm going to bring Linnea up. Hold on just a second. Here is Linnea.
Hi,
Hello,
Linnea.
Linnea.
Hi,
Did
good
I
to see you
say your
guys.
name right?
Linnea.
Linnea.
Okay.
I knew it was one or
You're
the
close.
other.
You're close. You're a lot closer than
And
most.
here's Deborah. Hey, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
Welcome to the show, Deborah. I'm going to bring Christopher back. Let's see if there's any echo. Christopher, are you there?
Yeah, we're getting the echo back from Chris.
Yeah, just a little bit. Well, we've got the whole team. So let's see. Linnea grew up in, I'm going to have to minimize that. I can hear it. It makes me sound funny. I'll be right back, Christopher. I just love him. We'll figure it out in just a second. All right. So Linnea grew up in a family that told stories about haunted family home and family members who saw spirits. And she herself had experiences growing up. Linnea was thrilled to join the team and collaborated with like-minded people. It's been a great experience and super interesting. We've been lucky enough to participate in investigations where we've succeeded with EVPs, videos, and more. Deborah is from Horry County, and that's where my husband's family's from, Horry County, and she's a native from there. And her first paranormal experience was when she was 11 years old and a month after her great-grandfather passed away. Over the years, she's had many experiences with the paranormal, and she enjoys her encounters with the other side, and being able to pass along answers to questions is a real treat for her. Deborah has always had an interest in the paranormal also, and she wishes to grow more herself and to educate others on the subject. So she says that being a paranormal investigator is a bucket list item checked off, and her top locations are Proctor's Ledge. I hit it with my finger. Proctor's Ledge, and at Gallows Hill and Alcatraz. So welcome, ladies, to the group.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
Oh, that's wonderful. I was waiting for Gwen to come on because she basically introduced us all together. Christopher, can you throw your hand up if you think you got your sound fixed? Okay, I think he's got it.
I got cancellation on.
You did it. You did it. All right. So Christopher has been doing the supernatural for several decades. He has been mostly uh, instrumental when it comes to working with people that are doing podcasts. I mean, he has really helped me over the years, and he's a great friend. He mans the chat rooms, and it's a big deal because we want to make sure that if anybody has any questions, that we get them in there. I heard somebody coming. Let's see. Yeah, it's Gwen. So here's Gwen. She's the one that kind of brought us all together.
Hi, Gwen.
Hey,
Hey, and Gwen is also retired paramedic, and she's a student of mine at Piedmont Technical College, and she's a member of Paranormal Pros. That's a paranormal research organization of the Southeast. So, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Ooh.
thank you.
I'm downloading these pictures now. Hopefully, I'll be able to do what I'm supposed to do. Oh, I see stuff in that one.
I did too. Is it the same ones she sent yesterday?
Yeah, and what she did, which I think is very helpful, is to do a side by side comparison. And wow, that one's really interesting. All right, let me see if I can present, and then I share screen. Right? Is that right?
Yes.
Oh Lord, now what? I'm going to do the entire window. Window or entire screen?
Yeah, just do the entire screen.
Okay. Well, is it going to do it? It's not letting me share. Oh, there it goes. Share. Can you see it?
Not yet.
Okay. It says it's going to share.
Okay, y'all, I'm hearing a child in the background. Does anybody have a child close?
No.
I hear that too, but I no.
Let's find out who it is then.
I'm going to stop sharing real quick. I hear it too.
It keeps going, who? Who? Again, who?
Yeah, but
Who?
I think it's my dog snoring.
No, that's not the snoring sound that Luna makes.
Well,
No,
it's Ginger.
Oh, well, this is a
listen.
child sound.
Listen.
Okay,
Was it her?
Ginger. Bad Ginger.
Debunked.
This is Ginger.
Bad
No.
Ginger.
Wow, that's weird.
She chewed this chew bone until she fell out. Okay, so I have crazy dogs and cats. Blaine and Gwen can tell you. Luna is laying across Mother over there.
Hey, Mama Judy.
Hey, Mama Judy, Gwen
Hey,
said.
Mama.
And so does Blaine. My mother's been doing paranormal investigation for most of her life. She grew up with my grandmother and great grandmother, taking the world by storm. Ladies of the paranormal, all the guys were at World War II. So, if they had something scary that happened, they had to face it on their own.
Yeah. Now I want to tell them something about the pictures I saw.
Yes.
I saw more than what the pictures showed. I was actually seeing like 4 or 5 different timelines in that place going on simultaneously. So
yeah, the veils are real thin.
Oh, but yeah, I was picking up stuff in the pictures that wasn't in the pictures, but I could see them clearly. But yeah, I was picking up at least 4 to 5 dimensions in that location. I mean, all the way back to the Native Americans, back to Spanish, back to more modern times from like the Civil War on up. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's went on that location you guys were at.
Huh, that's interesting. Because I mean, it's an undisclosed location, so we can't tell you exactly.
That's fine. Yeah,
the name, but it was an antique store, and so there's a lot of different stuff in that building.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a crazy investigation. Unfortunately, Deborah and Linnea didn't get a chance to go with us there, but
It was on FaceTime with you.
You were on FaceTime, yeah. So we actually had what, 5 of us there? Yeah, 5 of us because there's 8 of us total. There was 5 of us there that night, and we as soon as you walk in, it's just, antique stores typically carry a lot of energy anyway. So as soon as you walked into this location, you're hit with energy.
Oh yeah.
And then, as you know, we are a team of all women, and then we have a friend of ours who investigates with us regularly. He's what we call a reverse snowbird. So he comes down in the winter, or he comes down in the spring and summer, and then goes back up to New York in the wintertime.
Ooh, bless his heart.
So when he's down here, he investigates with us. And at the time, there was 4 girls in this building. We were starting our investigation. He was going to come later. And at that time, we were kind of already getting stuff, like we were hearing voices and seeing shadows. Well, and then what happened was our friend Craig comes in to the investigation, and I think Spirit got a little perturbed that a male had joined the party.
I get it.
And so the entire time, we, like, after he showed up, it was like a total mood shift in the building. The voices amplified, the things that happen amplified. We were seeing shadows left and right. We were it was almost like it was trying to separate us from each other. Like,
Oh, that's not good.
no. So
let me see if I can show one of the pictures. I've been
Sure.
messing with the system, so it's all an experiment. So let me try.
There you go.
Okay, do you see the side-by-side comparison?
So the one on the right is the photo that we caught. The one on the left with the white hat and the ball on the top, that's our friend Craig. So what we ended up doing, we caught this photo during the initial investigation. And then we were, I mean, like you had mentioned, we were split pretty much down the middle, like what it is. And it was just, we were all baffled by it because it's so clear, and it's so, to me, it's so, to me, it almost kind of looks like a construction worker of sorts, because you can kind of see on the back, the reflective lines of a vest, and you can kind of make out like almost like not a hard hat, but like some sort of service worker's hat.
Can I say what I think it is, or what
Sure.
it might be? Is that okay?
Yeah.
When I look at it, the first time I looked at it, which was, I think, yesterday, whenever you sent them, it looks like a fisherman's, I don't know what they call with the fisherman's, the old fashioned,
Oh, wow. I see that. Okay.
That's what I see.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I will say I see there appears to be an entity between the camera person and the person.
Mm-hmm.
I see that too.
Like there's an overlay between. I don't know. Here, let me drop this down for a second. I forgot to do this in honor of our friend Rachel. My friend Rachel. She is the Candle Witch Company of Salem. I am going to light Mountain Honey. Ooh. And this one is for clarity. And since we are looking at these pictures of, these entities, and we are actually, I think we're looking into several dimensions with these pictures. That's what I
said with the several different layers I was picking up on.
Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and light this, and let's see if it helps us out a little bit.
And then when they told me it was an antique shop, now I was like, that makes a lot of sense, because I was seeing a buttload of different layers in that whole place. And the energy in there is like, you can feel energy off of every piece of stuff that's in there, plus the walls, plus the ground.
That's a nice smelling candle.
The
It
weird
really
thing,
is.
so the weird thing about that is, so like I said, Deborah and Linnea weren't able to be there. However, Linnea wanted to try an experiment in which she FaceTimed with us. So I had her on my phone FaceTiming, and I had it on my harness walking through the building, and several times, and this is where I kind of feel like Spirit was trying to separate us just so that it could scare us. Several times Linnea was like, "Where are you? Who's with you?" And obviously she wasn't there. She hadn't seen the location other than on FaceTime. And was it what, 5 or 6 times, Linnea, that you kept leading me back to a particular spot? You're like, turn left, turn this way, do this, do that, and stop.
Look up for a minute.
Yeah, every single time she sent me to a place in the ceiling that had a hole in it, but it had this random bucket just hanging out underneath it, like just hanging from the ceiling.
It's weird.
Yeah, so we couldn't figure that out. But then, like I said, once our friend Craig arrived, the mood just shifted in the entire building. So that's when things really started to amp up. And another teammate of ours was standing with Craig at the part of the store that had bed frames in it, and a metal bed frame literally shook. I was in the middle of Estes session.
Is that it? No. Is that area you're talking about?
No, that's not the area.
I saw that ball thing. I thought that was part of the
that's where our trail camera was back towards that area.
okay.
But it goes back further behind that.
Okay, I saw that ball and I thought it was a bed frame.
It is part of a bedpost, yeah.
Okay.
So, but
is that it?
That's a bedpost. Yeah, that's a bedpost.
That's the same place. Sorry.
That's the same place, yeah, because it was on a trail camera. That's actually me in those photos there. And then compared to the picture that we got.
Yeah, look at that.
We actually ended up going, 2 or 3 days later, back to the location kind of at the same time to try and debunk it. So we walked through the same path several times, and we just could not figure it out.
Well, if you can't recreate it, that means it's something different.
That's it.
Okay, let's go back to the first one again. Okay, we've talked a bit about this, but see on the left side, it's a lot more clear. Mm-hmm. On the right side, it looks like you're looking through like a haze, like a filter. Right. To me, it just looks like there's an entity between the two. Maybe we're looking through it. I don't know. And look at this one now.
Now, Lee, if you go back in a minute, you go back to that other picture, the one on the left, you can see toward the back behind the guy, there is a spirit starting to manifest behind him now.
Oh, yeah.
Very lightly, but you can see him. I can see part of his face. It looks like
too.
Looks like he's holding his arm up, and then like he's doing this.
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. Let me put this down. Like he's doing what?
Like he's raising his hand like this.
Okay.
But you can see his face starting to form, and you can see the blur. Look right behind the gentleman right there.
I see it. Yeah.
And the face is just to the right of his right shoulder.
Okay.
Where it's starting to come through.
Interesting. Wow, I would love to go to this place.
Yeah. Maybe if we can get access when y'all come down, we can do a mini investigation there.
How did the Estes session go?
So the Estes session actually was interrupted because Craig and Christy, that was when the bed frame shook.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So they had ventured off to go into another area while I was doing the Estes with our teammate Christine. and that was when it shook, and I I heard a really loud yell.
Oh my
and
goodness.
and it freaked me out because it sounded like it was coming out of the headphones.
Mm-hmm.
And so I stopped, and that's when Christine and Candy both told. And Candy's the one in the picture with the black hat on and the reflective back. But that's when they both told me that something just happened with them, and so that the Estes got interrupted there.
Well,
Then
yeah.
Linnea, actually, you felt like we needed to be out of there before midnight, right?
Yeah.
Because it just kept amplifying.
Well, let me tell you what I'm picking up on in that place. There isn't a gentleman that's attached to one of the pieces of antique there, and he did not do well with ladies, and he was very much picked on by males. So he had a whole room full of girls. He was happy because he got to be in a little bit of charge for a little while, and then when the old dude came in there, it was like, there went my funds, and I'm gonna pitch a tantrum now. That's what he did.
And that's exactly what it felt like. It felt like he was like it, and it felt to me, it felt male. Like he was excited.
Absolutely male. I'm with Blaine on that.
I know it's a male.
Yeah, like he was excited that there was this group of women there, and then as soon as Craig comes, the mood just completely shifts.
It took his monopoly away that he had, because I got all these girls here. It's like, okay, what's this dude doing here? I was having fun. Now I'm gonna get mad, and that's what he did with you guys. He got mad. He showed his little ass and pitched a fit.
He showed his ass. He did, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did. I think that the bed that shook, I think that was him shaking that piece of furniture.
Okay.
And there's probably a lot more stuff he was doing there y'all just didn't figure out yet. Because
Well, I think so this building, before it was an antique store, it was a schoolhouse.
All right.
Okay.
And so when we first got in there and it was just us before our friend came, we were getting cold drafts, and it was a cold night. But we were getting cold drafts just on our legs, like at child height. And we were hearing like little child voices going, hoo, hee. But I don't think it was children.
Do you think it was like somebody imitating a child?
I think it might have been the guy, like, because I personally didn't feel children there.
Oh, okay. You said something just made me pick up more on. The gentleman there was mentally challenged.
Yeah.
That's when you said the giggling. I started hearing him like chuckle and giggle.
Yeah.
But you could tell it was like an older voice, but trying to sound like a child. So I think he had some mental issues.
Yeah, he's got some challenges.
Yeah. And we were hearing whistles, and we were hearing
he'll do anything to get you guys to come back.
Yeah. So, and then it's like I said, as soon as Craig came, it was like game over. Like he wanted us out of there at that point. And when we went back to try and debunk it, I could feel like it still felt heavy, but also Craig was with us to try and debunk it.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, when you guys come to the beach, we can probably get in there.
That'll be good.
Right on. Because I love Myrtle Beach anyways. It's beautiful out there.
Yeah.
But that's interesting though. That you guys picked up on that spirit that I'm picking up on now, which is pretty cool because it makes sense now. What's going on? You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I feel that he passed away due to something in his chest. I don't know if it was a heart attack or something.
You get the chest pain
but
too?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm getting that. It's pretty bad. He suffered.
I almost think he had pneumonia. I really do, because it's like when I had the same feeling I had when I was a child. Had pneumonia. It's that tightness in the chest.
Yeah, and I got the taste too. You know that funky taste.
Yes.
I thought there for a second maybe he drowned because I could feel it in my throat and.
pretty much you get.
But you're drowning when you have
You're
pneumonia.
drowning. Yeah, you're drowning your own fluids.
Poor guy, man. He was not treated well.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and here's the thing: is we don't have any history of that particular location of other than, we were able to find a little bit of history when it was a school, but other than when it was the antique store, we don't know anything else of it.
Well, I think he might be part of an object.
Mm-hmm. That's he's attached to something that's antique there. He's
Okay.
never been on that property till he was brought there at that antique store.
Yeah, I don't see him being there at all. And once the furniture's gone, he'll be gone.
Yeah. He'll move on whatever object he's attached to. So when somebody buys it, he'll go home with them. Well, it might not be a problem.
Yeah.
But you think about now, it's like he's got the run of the roost there. He probably, is king of all the spirits in that place right now.
Right.
He's got a little power, but once he goes somewhere else, he probably wouldn't probably show himself ever again.
I see him doing a movement like this.
Yes, I felt that too.
And
like it's rocking.
Yeah, like he's rocking, and he makes these sounds, and he'll turn his head. He won't make eye contact, and then he calms down. And the anxiety is like social anxiety too. So he was all excited about you girls being there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came in, and he's been mistreated by males.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, absolutely.
Huh.
Now, one thing I can suggest, if you do bring another male into that environment, let him introduce himself and say these words. I'm not here to harm you or disrespect you. I'm here to learn from you. Will you invite me in? And I do that all the time because there's a lot of spirits that don't like me, especially male spirits.
Yeah. I was just going to say something else that's kind of interesting. If you are talking directly to a spirit that has that type of anxiety, they'll come, turn away, get in a corner kind of a thing, maybe turn their back to you, and they'll only respond to you and just act real coy. She might get them to speak, but this person won't, and it's just because of the anxiety waves that he's going through. But if you give him something to manipulate, to mess with, something like a trigger item, he'll be fixated on that, and he'll forget about being, nervous.
Oh wow!
And that's interesting because we didn't use a trigger item. I mean, it's an antique store. The whole place is a trigger item. But we didn't use anything when we went. But yeah, definitely we could try that. But when my team and I go into locations, we always before we even cross the threshold, we always set our out loud set our intentions. We're here in light and love and positive energy. Nothing but respect.
That's the best way to do it. And you get better results that way. And one of the trigger options you can bring next time just for him, bring him a toy truck or like a Matchbox car. Something very small, but to him, it'll feel like you're handing him a check for $1 million.
Yes.
That's good to know.
And use words like, you're such a good boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We came to play with you.
Yeah.
Get it off of him,
Yeah,
and you could get one of those cheap balls, that's kind of rubbery.
Mm-hmm.
$3.99 Walmart Dollar General store.
Yeah.
All of those
Yeah. And see if he can roll it.
Okay. Yeah.
And of course, cat balls are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he might be afraid of the lights.
Well, you can bring him a balloon that's blown up, tied off. They love playing with balloons.
Well, we did have some wind chimes set up in the doorways. Mm-hmm. Those didn't go off, but we kept seeing shadows in my laser grid.
Nice. Well, I tell you, the chimes probably scared him because they were loud noises. That's why you get stuff that like little cars or little trucks or even just a balloon. Blow it up yourself, tie it off. Put it on the floor. Watch how much he'll play with that balloon. It'll blow your mind.
Now we did have a moment where, because we, like I said, we thought we were interacting with a
Are
child.
you okay? I'm
But-
sorry, my dog fell off the sofa.
Oh no!
She hurt the floor.
She, yeah, her and that big old head. Come here, baby.
Big head,
Come
Luna.
here. I'll show you what I'm dealing with here. Come on, Luna. Come on. Come on, princess.
But see, I'm glad y'all got a
Hey,
lot of stuff in
Luna.
that place.
Hey, Luna.
Let's build my
Please
girl
don't.
Luna the tuna.
And you hear that noise, right?
First time I heard it, I thought it was a cat purring.
Sounds like it.
She's terrified of the cat, and it got her all upset. Now she's trying to figure out what to do because the cat's left the room and she wants to play with her, but she's scared of her, and she's scared of the dark too.
Oh god.
She's such a baby. I have her a new tutu. I should have dressed her for the occasion,
Oh,
but
Lord.
I didn't think of it.
We actually played hide and seek at that location when we thought that we were interacting with children.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that makes sense now. You know, that we thought we were interacting with a child, but then we felt like it was not a child.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you, honey.
So we ended up actually playing hide and seek, and you know, we would say, okay, can you make a noise? We're going to count to 10 and come find you. Can you make a noise when we find you?
Oh, I bet knocking would be good.
Yeah,
Now that
and
you've
I mean,
said that.
we were getting that.
Heck
that's good.
yeah.
Responses.
That's good. He wants to interact. That's a good thing there.
Yeah. He just didn't like Craig.
Like I said,
No.
he got.
He thought he
abused
was in
by males.
trouble.
Oh goodness. But yeah.
Yeah, I could see that threat. You know, it's like, okay, I've got all this, and all the guys I ever knew beat me up. This guy's going to try to beat me up too, and I can understand his defensive mechanism on that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, but to catch that picture, I mean, it just, like I said, it just baffled all of us. And
You got some EVPs too, didn't you? I know we haven't talked about it, but I just felt like you did.
we to be honest, we probably, I want to say we did, because I did a burst session and we had something on there. I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen to it, but I'm pretty certain we did.
I'm just giving us all a look again. You probably will go back and hear stuff much later and not realize it.
Yeah. Well, like this right now, our focus is reviewing, preparing to review. We had a big investigation this past weekend. We went to the Brentwood Bistro in Little River.
Okay.
And, that one was a lot of fun.
Well, actually, I'd like to get their opinion on the picture we've been discussing from there too.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I'd
you
love
want to
to see
send
it.
it to me
Yeah, I'm gonna send that to you right now.
on Messenger?
Yeah, I'll send it on Messenger.
Perfect.
Linnea, which one were you talking about? The one outside or the one with you?
Nope, the one upstairs with me and
Okay.
what's next.
All right, I'm gonna send it right now. Oh, and we have another one too that there was as
right
well.
on.
All right, so
Very cool.
here's the first one. This one is not the one of Linnea, but this one is downstairs in what's called the wine room. And I want to say it's one of us, but I'm not 100% sure. The shadow is, in fact, one of us. And then the other one, let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah. So the shadow is us, but the other one, I'm not entirely sure what it was. Like, it could have been it could have been the lady that stayed with us that night, who works there, but I'm not 100. Like, it's just a weird blurry photo, which is
I've
just,
got one up.
yes. And I'm trying to find the other one.
What kind of camera was that taken with?
That was on a cell phone.
Okay.
iPhone Android.
That came from Christine, so I think an Android.
Okay. They do got good cameras, as well as
Yes, they do.
And the Google, the Google phone has, the Pixel has amazing camera on it.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what it, which one it is, but I'm pretty sure it's an Android.
So,
Okay.
what I've been able to do on Android evidence, I open the gallery, and then I select the blurry photo, and tap the edit icon at the bottom of the row, and then tap the brightness icon, and then scroll to sharpness, and
Okay,
then
yeah, that's usually.
sometimes it'll make it bigger. Okay, let's see if I got the other one yet.
There's the other one coming right now.
There it is. I got it.
So that is Linnea in the picture, but again, there's this weird.
No, there's something.
Yeah.
You see it, right?
I feel this one.
Yeah. Yeah, this one
We've
is
been talking about that one a lot.
So that is
See,
Linnea.
everything else is in focus
Mhm.
except
Oh, wow.
Linnea and what's beside Linnea.
Mhm.
You see
And
the
I mean, you
dark
can see my
there?
left foot is planted. I was standing.
Yes.
I was actually
Yeah.
taking a picture of that corner.
That's something
Now that
else.
Yeah.
corner is said to be the original owner's favorite seat. So I don't know if something didn't like me taking pictures there. I wasn't sure if something was trying to attach to me, if something was just checking out what we were doing.
Linnea, did you feel it walk through you?
Exactly.
I feel a lot in that location in general, so it's really
Yeah.
hard for me to tell. When I'm upstairs in that area, my heart races, and it doesn't race downstairs, just upstairs in that area. And
to
something
me,
actually-
it looks like you were getting walked through.
Yes.
Okay.
Gwen, what do you feel?
I can feel like it, honestly, I feel like it was two people talking, interacting with, trying to talk to her.
I agree with you. There is a man there. There's two spirits near you.
Yeah.
Deborah,
I usually don't go about it this way. Sorry but I'm just going to tell you what I see. There's a man there, and there is a lady there. And interesting thing about the lady, she's a photo bomber.
Oh, yes, she is.
She is just saying it straight up. She loves to photo bomb. When she was in life, she wanted to stand out. She was
Yes.
overly flirtatious, and dressed very risque. And I do think that she had because she was living that kind of lifestyle, she fell to she had a bad death. Okay. But now she's photobombing. She is totally between. There's the blow up.
Yeah.
Can you see the two people?
Yes.
If you look what I just picked up on too, there's one, the female's coming from the front side of you,
Yep.
and the male's going through the back side of you. And
Yep.
it's almost like they're trying to meet up in the middle.
Well,
And
he's saying, get out of the way. And she's saying, me.
Here I
What
am.
do you
Take
think
my
from the
picture.
male?
The male that's behind you,
Mm-hmm.
proud.
He comes with you. He came with you.
Yeah, he wants to let you know he's there. Have you felt him before?
Well, we were trying to figure out there was a staff member there, and I've eaten there a lot that I used to talk to about the Brentwood, and he recently passed. So we were trying to figure out if he might still be in that area because that bar is where he worked.
Okay, he is there because you were there.
So this is something different.
No, you will actually see him in other places because he has now pretty much become one of your spirit guides.
Okay.
Because you treated him nicely, and you frequented the restaurant he worked at, and he took that as a huge favor. So now he's returning the favor. He's going to watch out over you.
You helped him with the passing.
You did
because of the things that you talked about.
Mm-hmm.
He thought about it a lot. He knew he was sick, but I don't think he realized he was as sick as he is. Was. Of course, obviously, you see where this ended. So, but bless him. Blaine's right. He's there because he knew you were there. He felt confident and somewhat calm because he knew the things that you had discussed. He was interested, and now he wants to go and go do things.
It's very interesting.
You got a
Yep, he does.
hitchhiker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's funny though. Next time you investigate somewhere, ask him if he's there when you're doing a ghost box session or an EVP session. Say, hey, dude, are you here? Let me know you're
Okay.
with me. And
And
don't be
make sure
surprised.
he knows it's okay.
Yeah,
if he
let
is.
him know. Yeah, it's okay. He can come talk to you. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I think it would be pretty interesting because now you have an insight to the afterlife, which is a cool thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, when you have someone like that that's a friend in spirit, they can let you know what they see. The first time I really did that was there was somebody that came to the house that was trying to tell me she felt she was haunted, and she wanted me to kind of look into it for her. And I could see him, in my mind's eye. I could see him, but he wasn't coming in focus. He wouldn't speak to me. He was acting like he was ashamed. And I asked my friend in spirit, I was like, do you see someone here? Can you talk to them for me? And then I heard the words, on the ghost box, he's here. He won't talk. And then in time, the different questions we asked, we were able to get him to speak. And it turned out to be her uncle, the lady that came to see me. It was her uncle. And there was some information that was given that was pretty interesting. So, but it worked. And I was like, oh my gosh. So if you've got a way into the supernatural to tell you what they see or be the lookout if something's wrong, let us know, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also tell him thank you for watching over you. So man, I really appreciate it. Hey, you can go anywhere you want to go because I know you got my back. And that will mean the world to him too. Hello, Kitty.
That's Sophia. What is it, baby? She's upset because she was playing with Luna and now Luna's outside. And she wants me to go get Luna in. When she was a kitten, Ginger thought she had puppies. And Ginger we had to get the laundry basket out so she could nurse the kitties. And, after that was done, then of course it took about 2 weeks for her to wean them, So the cat thinks that Ginger's her mom.
No.
We understand. We all have cats, dogs, so most of our podcasts have at least several appearances from all of us.
Yeah. Or
I'm glad you get it.
Or the constant, like for me, it's constant. Blanche, get down. Blanche, go.
Or my dog will bark, and then Deborah's dog will start barking because my dog's barking.
I am so glad that we are in we're able to relate to each other. We've got quite a lot of people watching. I'm going to do some shout outs real quick. Hi, Candy. Thank you for being here. Hello, David. Let's see. Thomas. That's my husband. We've got David and Tracy. Hello, guys. Gosh, there's more. There's Candy again. Hey, Candy. David asked, when we do investigations, are we worried about having an attachment when we come home from the locations? Now, I would have to ask, what is an attachment? I need to know what that means. Attachment, does that mean that somebody is just following me, like stalking me? Or does that mean that it's some sort of spiritual entity that is feeding off me like a little leech or something? Because as many people as lived and died, there's no place that's not haunted.
Right.
That's the truth.
Okay. And so if that's the case, then we're really the ones that are in their space because they got here first. So attachments to me would mean something that has a codependence, that has maybe they don't have a bad intention, but they can drain your energy. And that's why we do the things we do with prayers. And John Zaff has told me a long time ago the power of salt, especially Epsom salt. Or okay, so David said he was talking about a spirit. I really hope that I do make friends, because spirits, to what we say as a spirit, would be a human entity.
Mm-hmm.
And just like if somebody came to the house and started showing their butt, I'm going to make sure they get out if they're not welcome there.
Mm-hmm.
But they are welcome there if they're my new friend. So, that's just how I feel about it, because, my Blaine and I have a background, our spiritual background, in that our family makes a commitment to stay with us 7 generations. So we are expecting our family to be here,
Yeah.
we're expecting a big tribe of folks. So I don't really worry about spirits following me around, because I know I've got spirits already around me. And if they don't like them, they're going to whip somebody's butt. And that's just how that works. So
And it's a beautiful thing to watch. Let me tell
it
you.
is, man. We've had some things happen that are, have you guys watched Repossessed?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
do you remember when my spirit guide was in a fight with the other entity that was at the
Yes.
location? Well, Blaine's spirit guide. Go ahead, Blaine. You talk about your lady.
Oh, this is funny. Okay. I was in episode 2, but I never made air. My spirit god Janawa made it on episode 8. I got to watch her just beat the living crap out of some spirit. Her and Lee's spirit god Minnie, they're beating this thing like it's a dog playing with a balloon. I mean, just beating the car off of it. I
It
laughed.
was something, man. It was beautiful.
And our 2 spirit guides were only 2 ever to make the credits of the show.
Because they are on the credits. It's
They
crazy.
are on the
That's
credits.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, but I wanted to think Minnie was winning, but just in case she was getting her butt handed to her, I called for Blaine's spirit guide. It's like, send Janawa, and here she came, and then they really jumped on him then. But
And I'll explain about Janawa and Minnie. Both of them are little women. Janawa is probably 900-year-old. She was a medicine woman Cherokee. Probably about 5'2", 5'3". And that woman, oh my God, you get her riled, she will beat. It's like Granny from the Hillbillies beating up on Jethro. That's pretty much
the way that I met my spirit guide, somebody had messed with her grave. And I was just devastated. How could somebody do such a thing? How could somebody be disrespectful, And she had a tombstone. Her name was on the tombstone. And so she wasn't just in a big creek burial ground, because creeks do the big burials. But it was insane. And I saw that somebody had been messing around in her grave, and I got down in the grave. And I was like, I am so sorry that my generation is so disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
I did not do this, but I'm apologizing to you on behalf of the people of this era. This is horrible. And I guess, the way that I was so overcome with sadness, I guess she just thought, hey, that's pretty cool. I appreciate you saying those things, And I could set off a K2 meter by myself for about almost a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was calling Blaine, is this normal? Is this normal? And so, I ended up just asking her, can she stay? And she let me know I can't stay. But when you need me, call me. But if you're just pulling my leg, I'm going to get your butt. Don't cry wolf, So, she is such a little, she's the boss. Over here. My husband has another spirit guide. He has his own. That was his great uncle,
the Colonel.
Yeah. Okay. So David Baird is asking another question. I have several Davids on the show here, and this is for you, Blaine. What is the scariest location you've investigated?
See, I want to give this to the ladies because I've never been to a place that
Well, let's do
scared me.
round robin with it. Thank you, David. You're in charge of looking for questions, okay? So we're gonna do round robin. Okay, Blaine, since he asked you, just you start it, and then we'll
Me,
go
I'm more
around.
scared of actual live people than spirits. I'll tell you
Yes.
something. I'll tell you something funny though. The only thing that actually startled me in an investigation, it didn't scare me. It startled me. We were doing a fort here called Fort Toulouse, right down the road from us, and they have a creek burial mound there. Well, we were walking toward the creek burial mound, and I say an armadillo come out of the woods. I'm like, holy crap, they are alive. I've never seen a live one. I've always seen them dead on the side of the road. It didn't scare me. It startled me. It's like, oh my God, they do live.
They have a startling presence too, because they'll growl and hiss. I'm taking my boot off. I'm sorry. I'm hitting the screen. I'm gonna get comfortable here. Damn it. There. All right. Okay, so let's go around now. Aaron, what's the scariest?
So the scariest place. Well, I like you, Blaine. I'm more afraid of the living than the dead.
Yeah.
And we did have an incident where we had somebody show up at an investigation and literally, like, thank God we were locked in, but literally stand outside, peeping in the windows, walking around, checking the doors for a good hour. But
That's creepy.
yeah, that was the fastest I ever ran up a set of stairs, though. But that wasn't the scariest. The scariest for me was probably we investigated the Tobacco Museum, the South Carolina Tobacco Museum in Mullins, South Carolina. Beautiful building. If you're ever in Mullins, definitely check it out. But the building itself is an old train depot, and as soldiers would come in during the Civil War, they, if soldiers had passed away on the train ride to the next town, they would just dump them at the next town. And so we were in, well, Linnea, correct me. Well, it started in the smokehouse, right?
Mm-hmm. And then moved to the back.
Yep. So we typically will do, when we investigate, we're typically intuitive based. We like to go in completely blind so that we have no biases. So typically before an investigation, the week of, a lot of us will do like a meditation. And like my meditation, I usually do automatic writing with it. And just to kind of see what we're going to get during that investigation. And it's interesting because 95% of the time they are correct. Well, on our meditations, we were getting that there is a man there and he is not fond of women. He just doesn't like women at all. He thinks women are good for one thing and one thing only. And we were in the tobacco barn where they would cure tobacco, and I was doing an Estes session. I was sitting in there, completely blindfolded, and I started getting touched, and then Linnea, will you explain like what happened? Because when I'm under Estes, I don't really remember things.
So she's normally very even personality. She just came out of there almost kind of like huffing and puffing, like she was taking on something like a completely different personality. Like she was literally ready to fight, and that's just not her. I mean, we had to take her outside and kind of like separate her. And I think I might have did some Reiki on you, and Chris might have said a prayer, and we had to give her a timeout.
Yeah, it was scary. I mean, for me, it was scary because like in my head, like all I could feel was every bit of rage and anger that this guy had towards women. And I've never had that happen before, but I could feel every single bit of it. And I wasn't mad at any, I remember thinking at one point, why is there so many people in here? There's too many people in here. And then I remember, like, in my head, I remember saying, why are you letting him get to you? Don't let him get to you. But my body, I was like, God, I just want to go in there and fight him and beat him up for the, like, I was mad at him, but I was just feeling what he was feeling.
You're an empath for sure.
Oh, big
it was the weird,
100%.
like,
Hey, I worked on your picture.
yeah.
While we're thinking about that, let's see. I didn't see it blown up. It was on my cell phone, so this may not be great, but let's just try it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell them.
Do you
Tell her
see
one-
that entity?
It looks like
You
a
see
nurse.
the dark? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Okay.
It looks like a nurse or like an old, like, maid.
Whatever it is, it has a dress on because you can see it flared out at the bottom.
That may be Essie.
Oh yeah.
That may be Essie. Is that what you said?
I mean, time period. The outfit looks
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about right there near the curtain, that black shadow?
I was looking at that too.
The one to the right over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the one to the far right, they said that was one of them, but I'm looking back toward the curtain. There is another shadow figure back there too.
Yeah,
Yes.
you
If
see
you actually
it?
look to the
Yes.
left too, there's another one back in
Right.
the window.
There's,
There's like one, two,
one, two,
three right
three
there.
entities right there.
Yes.
All right, make that 4. There's one above up there where the ceiling light is.
Oh,
You
I
can-
see it.
Oh my gosh. Look at that one.
Yes.
You can see its head and shoulders.
So the funny thing about this location is they do have a shadow person that often shows up in photos. In this room particular, where this photo was captured, they do have what they say is a Civil War era soldier that kind of just hangs out in here, and he doesn't really. Was it him? Is that Frank?
That's the bistro area.
Is this?
Yeah, see, there's a round table right there. There's no high round
Oh
tables.
yeah. So that is the bistro area.
That's
So that's
one of those
upstairs.
windows is the one where they normally see Essie. So that makes sense.
Yep.
That
So
would
that's
be her.
yep. That's
Yep, and
upstairs. Yeah.
the table's going right into her right side too. So she's
Mhm.
going through the table. Interesting.
I wonder what's creating that green light. You think it's cell phone picture or something like that? You know, like taking a photo?
Did you have your laser grid?
No, I had it, but it wasn't out. And the weird thing is even if it was, because I first saw it and I thought it was the woman.
Oh, I know what that might be. So that's the front of the building. Those windows right there. They do have colored lights outside because remember, Erin, I was telling you that
okay.
so that might be the green coming through the outside.
Yeah. And then we had at that building too, we had something weird. Well, poor Deborah had something weird happen.
Oh Lord. I'm gonna take this down now. There we go. Now we can see everybody.
But Deborah had something weird, and I don't know. I know you were having some issue with your audio earlier, Deborah. Can you? No.
We don't hear you, hun. Let's see.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Not if you can hear us.
No. No.
I think her microphone's muted.
She said she texted me. She said her microphone's turned on.
Yeah, I see it's on.
Yeah.
It is now, but it was showing muted.
Yeah, she was having some issues with her laptop earlier too. So
Try turning your computer volume up a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 notches. Maybe that'll fix it.
Hey, I hear it. There it is. Yay.
Hey!
Hi, Deb. I was
So-
beginning to feel sorry for you back there. It's like, is she
It
not gonna talk to
was
us
wide
tonight?
open the whole time. I don't know what. My
I-
God.
I
went
can
to-
tell you what. Is you're on the show with me and Lee, and every show we do, we have some weird stuff that happens. So
Yeah.
it's all
Yes.
off the course. If you go back and listen to the show after we're off the air, you'll hear voices and stuff that we didn't say, and it's funny. It is
Oh, there's
funny.
we've had that happen, but yeah, I tried to log in on my laptop, could not get in. Tried to log in on my iPad, could not get in. So I'm on my phone.
So you need to burn some sage.
Look, I need to tell Jane to walk across the yard and go back home.
Yes.
Yeah, really.
Mhm.
Because you're definitely getting some spiritual interference over there. They're having
Yeah.
fun. They think it's funny.
Oh yeah, she screws with me all the time.
I hear her. Oh my God! I
All
hear
the
her
time.
cackling. She'll do it and walk away. To do it again, walk away, start cackling.
Well, I have a 100-pound lab and a 100-pound bloodhound that lives in the house, and she gets them stirred up.
Oh, I got two little boys that do that to my dogs. I think it's funny, but my wife don't like it too much.
Yeah,
She'll
no,
scream
it's
at 'em,
aggravating.
"Don't do this with my dogs."
So what happened to you at the Brentwood, Deborah?
Oh, you talking about that front room on the right?
No, I'm talking about when you were asleep.
When I was asleep?
And you jumped, and you got up and jumped out of that room so quickly.
I'm trying to remember. Girl, my brain is still tired, okay? It's still tired.
So you were in the room that we had our home base on, and you had the chairs.
Oh, I was thinking about upstairs when I was laying
Deborah
down.
can sleep anywhere.
That's me.
So we can be on an overnight investigation, and she is curled up in the corner sleeping. And
I'll beat the chickens to bed, okay?
Nice.
I will beat the chickens to bed, and a tornado can take the walls down around me. I won't know it. I'll never hear it. So I'm laying there. I took some chairs from the tables and pushed them up against the wall. That way, if I rolled, I wouldn't fall out of the chairs.
Okay.
So I'm laying there and I got my eyes closed and I'm trying to will myself to sleep because I'm exhausted. Had been up since 4:30 Saturday morning. I had to work the elections. Out of nowhere, I hear kerflunk. And then I hear something rolling and circling on the floor. So, what the hell is that? So I grab my flashlight and cut it on, and I see a nickel circling in the floor. Where did that come from? So I panned my flashlight. Aaron's backpack had fell all the way over, face first on the floor. And that nickel, I guess that nickel come out of her back. Did it come from your backpack?
It was a nickel and a dime, and they both, I guess, came out of my backpack.
Well, the dime went in one direction and laid flat, but that nickel, it rolled for probably 1.5 feet, 2 feet.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And it was just a circling as hard as it could circle.
Oh,
It scared me so bad. It scared me so bad. I jumped up and I flew.
That would have scared me too.
But
Well, they were like, if you hear, one of the girls said, oh, she had the REM pod in there. She said, if you hear anything, reach over there and touch it. We'll hear it going off. Well, I'm over there slamming it and nobody hears anything. So I have to get up. I'm like, big help.
Look, she jumped out of there.
Now, Deb, I'd have been the smart ass and went, nickels? Where's the dollars? Where's the $100 bills? Where they at? I want those.
And look,
No,
if it
get
started
100 for me.
raining dollar bills,
Dude,
I'd have
I'd be
probably
like-
sang to them. I'd have danced
Oh,
for
dude,
them.
I'd have backflip.
Keep it coming,
It's
keep
like,
it coming.
keep pouring. No doubt.
So the weird thing about that, it was my bag, but a few weeks ago, Candy, one of our teammates, she sees by dreams.
Okay.
And
Clairvoyant. Got it.
my grandmother actually came to her in her dreams and had a couple messages for me, but I'm the person that's black and white. Like, I need to know exactly what you're talking about. So one of the things that she told Candy was that in a few weeks, I was gonna start finding dimes everywhere. So I had literally the day before the investigation, I found like 3 random dimes in my house, like just random dimes. And then on this investigation, a random dime rolled out of my bag. Like I didn't even know I had change in my bag.
Well,
So I was like, okay, come on.
now
Yeah.
if you're getting dimes, that is somebody very, very close to you family wise.
Hmm.
It's one of your 7 generations that's doing that because their
Yeah.
family gives you dimes. Most of them will give pennies, but the family members will give you dimes because that was, I don't know, it
Yeah.
paid for phone calls and all kind of stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
But
Well,
and
my grandma and I, my Grammy, she was my person, and actually we had, that night before that happened, we had an Estes session, and when my grandmother passed away, I gave her 3 sayings. I immediately, in my tear-filled grief, I told her in the car on the way home that day, I said, look, you're welcome to come on any investigation you want to. I said, here are 3 things so that I know it's you. And, I heard the word Grammy come through at the Brentwood, and I was like, okay, and I let it run a few minutes longer just to see, if it was just my head or if it was actually her. And then about 30, well, that was toward the earlier in the night, and then maybe like an hour or 2 later, after Deborah had gone in and tried to lay down some, was when my bag just went whoop, and the dime and the nickel rolled out. So
that means she had a guest with your grandma
yeah,
because
I don't
they just give you a nickel.
yeah, I don't know who it would be, but it was cool nonetheless.
Well, a lot of those times it's like there are people that you would have never known, but they were family, and they might be friends of family,
Hmm.
and they come along just because it's so joyful for them to see somebody living happy, so they love
Right.
going for the experience.
Yeah.
But I was going to tell Candy, start taking a dream journal because those, especially since you're getting visions in your dreams, get you a dream journal. Start writing down everything you can remember as soon as you wake up.
You hear that, Candy?
And like you
You
said, you
answer
can
over there
So
in the
much.
chat in a minute.
Yeah. She'd be like, "Yep, I got it."
go right on, right on.
He's like, okay, cool. Yep. So, by chance, do you have family members that served in the military?
Yes.
Okay. Are they deceased now?
Yes.
Okay. Did you serve?
I did not.
Okay. This might be nothing, but I know that if you see tombstones that have money on it,
Hmm.
a penny means that you visited them. A nickel means you and the deceased veteran trained together. A dime means that you and the deceased veteran served together in some capacity.
Mm.
So it might mean something like that, or
Hmm.
something like they consider you having been through something with them. And they're letting you know that they're giving you honor instead of you leaving a dime. They're giving it to you.
Hmm. That's
It's
Yeah.
something to think about because I have had that kind of thing happen to people that have past life.
Yep, you took the words out of my mouth.
Oh,
Yeah, I
past,
heard you.
you said past life, as in like
Yeah.
previous lives.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So okay, so that's funny that you mentioned that. One of my past lives, I'm pretty certain that I was a Civil War soldier that died in a battle,
You were.
like in a very gruesome. Like I died on the battlefield, and like my injury wouldn't have killed me had I been found earlier. Like
Yeah,
that is what.
you died of an infection.
Yeah, like I feel like I got shot in the leg, and I was there on the battlefield for
Yeah.
hours.
Well, getting shot in the leg in the Civil War didn't mean that you had a hole in your leg. It meant that it shattered the bone.
Yep.
So that would have been a nasty wound.
Yeah,
Yep. And you would have had you would have actually died of gangrene because that thing got so infected.
yeah.
Uh,
And I remember in my past life regression, because I just did the YouTube University past life regression. And I remember feeling like I could smell the mud, I could smell the blood, I could hear people crying out for their mothers, their wives, their all of that.
Isn't
And
that
like
awful?
it was
So
just,
sad.
and I remember like in this regression just seeing like all these bodies around me, but I strongly feel like I would not have died had they found me sooner.
No. And I can tell you
Um,
this: you were with the 30th Maine from the
Okay.
state of Maine. You were, and you
From the state of what?
Maine.
Okay.
Wrong
Um,
side.
But look, Deborah, didn't I tell you that I felt like I wasn't a Confederate soldier? Like
no, you were a
Yeah.
Union.
I was
You
Union.
were Union, but
Yeah.
yeah, and you died in Harper's Ferry,
Okay.
and you were only 17 years old.
Okay. See, didn't I
Mhm.
say? I said I was between the ages of 16 and 20.
Yep.
Crazy. Like I was young.
so that would have happened in 1859.
Hmm.
The raid on Harper's Ferry.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yep.
88 Marines, 21 Raiders. I mean, that was a horrible battle.
Yeah. Well, see, I also feel like I had a life as a like a homestead owner in Revolutionary War times where my husband just disappeared and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you call that one.
Woo.
But actually, you were going to Oklahoma, and you were part of the Sooners. But your husband died, and so you had to go claim the land for yourself.
Yep.
And we had 3
He
kids.
died. You had 3 kids, and he died of probably like pneumonia or
Yeah. Like he just
consumption.
disappeared. Like he just went
Yeah.
away for a while. Like I assumed that it was like to go to war, but he just went away for a while and never came back. It was me and my 3 kids
Mhm.
like trying to run this land. And I can't remember if I think I only had 1 daughter and 2 sons.
You were correct,
Yep.
and
Oh,
you
crazy.
did pretty well for yourself for a while, you and your kids.
Yeah.
But you did end up getting remarried to another gentleman, and he had 2 kids. And you guys combined the 4 kids together, and pretty much y'all made this homestead work. And that stayed in your family for about 100 years. And then the Great Depression came, and your family was actually moved off the land because they couldn't afford to pay the taxes on it anymore.
Interesting.
I know. I love when they tell me all this cool stuff.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, and it's cool because it's cool to be validated too in that it's
Yeah, do you want to go back further?
sure
Listen,
we can go back.
let's I want to throw something out there. The Harper's Ferry was absolutely a horrible battle, and a lot of Union soldiers were captured. 12,419 were captured. A total of 12,636 were affected. 44 killed, 173 wounded. The rest were captured. You could have been captured and not gotten the right treatment. So you could have died as a captive, and that's tough. That's rough.
Yeah. Well, and with that, like we did an episode on our podcast about past lives. We did past lives, right? Yeah. And with that, we were in doing our research for the episode, modern traumas modern fears that you have could have stemmed from that. Well, one of my fears, one of my biggest fears is dying alone.
Mm-hmm.
And in that instance, that's where that could have come from.
My husband's listening. He just posted, a quarter means that you were with them when they passed.
Yes. That is correct.
So be on the lookout of the quarter.
Yeah.
Because you may have died with them. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Just keep that in mind. It's just
I had
sorry,
a
Blaine.
very interesting dream related to things like this. a couple
You
weeks
did?
ago.
What
Yeah.
happened?
I dreamed I was in this hospital. It appeared to be a modern era. You know what I mean? Because it had fluorescent lights and all that. You know what
Right.
you see now in the past 50 years. Uh, and I was shown this form. I was told that I would be eligible for something like BA and stuff like that. I was like, wait a minute here. You know, when I woke up,
That would explain a lot that you had been a soldier in your past life. It's pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
it explains a lot because on my maternal grandfather's side, they that whole family, my mother's side,
Uh-huh.
had quite a few people that served.
Now, with that in mind, Blaine, do you
Mhm.
feel like people are reborn into their own families, or do you feel like they
It
jump?
can. It can. You can move back to your own families, but most of the time, it's you've already been with that family once. Unless there's some other lessons you need to learn, you could go back to that same family. But
I
most
was with
times,
Matt before.
I know, yeah, well, but that's very true. Not once, but like 15 times that we can count back. There's probably
Yeah.
1,000 more, but
Yeah, my
yes,
sweet
it's weird.
love.
It's weird. Me, Matt, and Lee have had so many lives together, as we always end up finding each other out of nowhere.
Yeah, past lives are very interesting. That's something that I really believe
Oh
in,
yeah,
Yes.
and they're just very fascinating to me. And I think that definitely I think that the people that we know in this life, our souls are connected from previous,
I agree.
and in
Yep.
whatever capacity we have to work together, learn from each other, and grow together.
Well, Lene, and I'll tell you one of your past lives if you'd like to know.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. You were actually in the Roman court. You were part of a concubine. I hate to say it that way, but this is what they're telling me. But you were actually had royal blood and you were put in the wrong position. You were hidden because they didn't want to find out you had royalty in you because you would have been killed off like the rest of the siblings when a new emperor took over. So that's how they saved you.
Okay.
But yeah, you ended up living a very fruitful, long life, and
As a
you turned out okay.
concubine.
Well, she was not really a concubine. She was just that's the cover they gave her where the new leader wouldn't take her off and kill her. Because you
The
posed a
Roman
threat.
part is interesting, Erin, because I feel like we talk about like the Vatican and stuff a lot when we do the podcast and Rome.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I actually just went to Rome this summer.
You've actually been there before it was the Vatican. A lot longer than the Vatican's been there. Okay.
And I'm connected to it too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, Pope Urban.
So Gwen, go ahead.
Okay. Today I was sitting at home, and things come to me, people come to me, and there was this guy, and he said his name was Francis, and a guy named Francis, and I asked Litriana, of course, and I asked one of my friend Andy, and I was gonna ask Blaine. He kept asking me to turn my flashlight on, and I don't do any investigating like that, when I'm by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wondered, do y'all in your history, maybe family or anything that you know of, or come across any spirit named Francis that's a guy?
Mm-hmm.
So not Francis, but we had the Frank the other night.
We did, but Francis is a family name for me. My father's name was John Alfred, but he said Francis was also a middle name for him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whoever it was telling me to turn my flashlight on, and they know that's kind of my thing of choice. I don't know. I was just hoping that it would make sense to somebody.
It
Blaine?
did. It made sense to you because it was meant for you and you only. That's why.
Well, true. He's a smart man. But I thought I would ask because it was bugging me. And I was like,
And it could be a distant relations of yours. That because I got people in my family, I couldn't tell you what their names were, what they look like. So,
well, I have been doing my ancestry DNA thing.
right on.
So it could have something. Maybe I'm clicking along and finding somebody they're related to. Maybe I'm going to find him. So.
And you got to realize too, a lot of them didn't like the name Francis. It was like a family name. And they would use the name Frank. It was sort of, it's not manly to them to have the name Francis. But there's a lot of guys that are named Francis.
Well, he was saying, Francis, my name is Francis.
Well,
and I thought, as I was thinking, that's a guy, Francis, that's not common. He was like, yes, I am a man. And I was like, okay.
Well, at least now he's probably not embarrassed by it anymore.
Same way with Frank Dior. That's one of the surnames in my mom's lineage that goes back to the 1300s.
Okay.
My Uncle Francis passed away a couple of months ago.
Well, I was sitting here reading your grandmother's book at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah. My Uncle Francis was very, very fond of Mama Jenny, and they passed very close together. I lost my great aunt, my uncle, my grandmother, my husband's grandmother and grandfather in less than a year. So it was a lot. It was too much. But Uncle Francis, he's quite the character. He's a lot of fun. He's the guy that you would ask to pray at family reunions and at Christmas because his voice would come across, And he laughed. He had the craziest laugh. He went, ah, 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 ah. It was so funny. I was like, what are you doing? He always wore dress pants and a dress shirt, but sometimes he'd wear suspenders. That was his way of dressing down. And he treated my aunt with great respect. Great respect. Yeah, she was his princess, all right.
Oh.
But I wonder if it's him,
I was sitting here with your grandmother's book that you gave me, and I was smelling because I don't know what it is, but it makes me feel very mellow.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, he's like, turn your flashlight on. And I was like, I don't usually do that at home by myself.
Yeah.
So when I have a boo buddy, as we call it, I will. Very next time.
Yep. That's Blaine's term, boo buddy.
Yeah, boo buddy. I use it, Blaine.
Hey, good. I mean, that's what it's there for.
So we do have to make sure that everybody's safe. You don't need anybody to get confused. Or anything bad happen.
And I'll say this, and the class knows this, and Gwen's very good about this, is never investigate by yourself anyway. Right. One, there's safety reasons. You can hurt yourself, or there can be something in there that's, otherworldly or human that can hurt you.
Right.
And if you catch something, you got nobody to validate with you.
Right.
I mean,
that's right.
It's common sense. So don't go by yourself. You don't have to.
It's not a party if you're by yourself.
Right.
No, exactly.
Right.
And I got to give Deb a past life too, because she hasn't got one from me yet. Now, Deb, you were a Celt. You were a Celt.
Celtic.
You were Celtic from about 1415.
Okay, makes sense.
And you were a priestess.
Ooh.
A very highly ranked priestess is what I'm picking up on you.
Okay.
You and that hoity-toity society over there.
Go girl. Go girl.
Hey, it's about time I got something.
For real. Yeah, you were very good at what you did. That's just one of the lives. I could tell y'all for hours how many lives you've had. It's fun for me because I get to see them too, and I get to see what what you physically look like, what your spirit looks like, thoughts, feelings, and emotions you have. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I need to talk to you, Blaine, one-on-one.
Yeah, anytime. Well, you know how to get a hold of me.
I can
Yeah,
go back,
I need to know more
back,
too.
back. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, for you, when you're getting when you were doing that SD session, you got real mad. Let me teach you a little trick on that one, because you got to learn to use that mama voice. When you start feeling it come on and you know you're not mad for a reason, something's making you mad, step back a second, use that mama voice. Say, that's enough. Back off now. And you will be surprised how spirits will back up and get the hell out the way. If they hear a mama type voice, I can hear my grandmother's voice right now, and she's been dead for 30 years, and she say something to me, I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Well, what's funny about that? So that investigation where that happened, there were a couple things that played into it. That was one of our so I founded the team November 9th, 2022. So we're very young still. And so that was one of our very first, I think that was only our second investigation at a location, second or third. So it was very, very new to us still.
Right.
And we were still learning. But after that's happened, we've actually become like, we have an entire ritual almost going into locations, leaving locations, and then if we're
do it every time.
Yeah, and if we have any instances on location where somebody is getting touched or somebody is being made to feel like their emotions are being manipulated or whatever, we take a minute and we get very firm. You do not have permission to do X, Y, Z.
Exactly.
And so we actually we've learned a lot in the past year, and we've learned how to read each other and each other's emotions. We can say, okay, well, so and so, they're starting to get affected. Just their energy starting to just drain out. Let's go outside, take a break.
Yeah, and one of the things I try to tell everybody too, especially new investigators, do not offer your energy up to them, because they are vampires and they will suck you dry. If you feel like something's trying to pull your energy, take a step back, go, that's enough, back off of me, and then clear yourself. And I'll teach you something real quick. Is how to ground yourself. It's the best thing you could ever do, and it's easy and it's free. You can do this as many times a day as you want to. Okay, think there's always energy around you, correct? Think of that energy coming through your fingertips, down through your body, out through your feet to the ground. And you can be lying, sitting, upside down. It doesn't matter. The energy is always going to find its way to the ground, and it always finds its way back up from the ground. That is a good thing to keep that energy off of you. I do it probably 10, 15 times a day. Wow. And it takes about 3 seconds to do. Another thing to do, you're correct. Take the person outside, let them get a different energy vibe for a few minutes, because sometimes it rattles people that, I've actually seen people actually get up and leave rooms because they were getting attacked. Their stomach would hurt, or they felt nauseous, or they felt dizzy. Yeah, they don't do it that way. I've learned over the years, doing this for 58 years, is I stand my ground. And
right.
You have to not play fair, because they're not going to play fair. And
that being said, that location that she was talking about, the Tobacco Museum, that's probably the scariest for all of us, because in addition to what happened to her, that's the first time that the entire team was actually physically hurt. When it was like, your back hurts. Oh my God, I'm bending over. Next person, it was our backs got hit. And it's also the first time that we ever had a phantom smell. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was, and I mean, cat urine. It's not something that comes and goes.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's not like the floor had been saturated in cat urine for 20 years.
Well, you know why? They actually soak the tobacco leaves in urine. But
this came and went. It wasn't like that when we got there.
No, that could come, but it was very used there, and that smell will come out every now and then. You'll smell it. The next time you smell something, it might be a lit tobacco, like a cigarette or a cigar or a pipe.
Well, this actually followed us from one end of the building to the other. So I
and then left.
And then left. Then just poof. But I think it was that guy that didn't like women, and he was just trying to get us out of his space. But also we had we were dealing at the time too with someone who had different viewpoints than us,
Mm-hmm.
and so they were bringing a lot of that into our investigation.
Yep.
And since then we have parted ways with that person, but
That was the best thing you could have done.
it yeah. it
Because
was
once you get one negative vibe, they thrive on that. And you
Yes.
guys can be all, you can counteract that with your positivity, which I think you have done.
mhm.
And your body and your spirit said, okay, that's enough. This person is nothing but bringing negative energy to this, and this should not be negative.
That's
It should be
dangerous.
positive. That's very dangerous because they will fly. I mean, just come in numbers, or like the demons say, we're in legions. They'll come in legions,
Yeah.
which is thousands.
Yeah, it was well, thankfully, I will say, thankfully, since I've kind of learned more, I'm still in the process of trying to open up my third eye completely. I do get, and I have gotten it for a while now, but I'll get random flash images.
You're about to get more.
And so I'm trying to open myself up and swing the door wide open, because I want to be able to control that and learn how to utilize that.
Let me tell you what to do with that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do not think about it. Let it happen. Let it flow. And I don't know if you can feel it right now. Your forehead should be a little bit warm.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely, but
I just opened your third eye for you.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, I do utilize that with my meditations and my automatic writings and stuff.
Sure, that helps a
And
lot.
then,
And also give yourself some time when you meditate. Listen to music. That helps open up everything.
Okay.
If you think about when you're listening to your favorite music, you don't think about a bill. You don't think about the car being fixed. You don't think about none of it. You think about the music, and it lets your mind open a lot more, and it helps you a whole lot better clear yourself with the meditation. You can still do a silent meditation, but every now and then do some with music, because that helps a whole lot.
That's interesting. Which is interesting because that's one of the experiments you wanted to try the other night, Linnea. With the whatever you call it. Yeah. So but yeah, I mean, I'm definitely, and I think as we've grown as a team over the past year, I think that I've become my door is just opening up further and further.
I'd like to call it, what you're getting is an upgrade. You have more gifts now that are coming. Don't fight them, embrace them. And that goes for both of you too. All three of you. And four of you, because Lee, I don't have to tell Lee this, she knows. But listen, pay attention, because all four of y'all have gifts you don't even know you have yet.
Well, I will say this: as you're opening up, you're trying so hard to control your third eye that it's very easy for you to try to control what you're receiving, and for a spirit to go beyond what's acceptable spiritually. Those boundaries they'll misunderstand you trying to open yourself as an invite, and they'll overstep boundaries where you'll feel uncomfortable. They might be trying to show you how they died, and you can take on ailments or pain and things like that. So it's a lot like trying to do controlled breathing whenever you're diving. It takes a little bit to get used to. So I really think that if that is what you're trying to do, and you're trying to open yourself up more, try to do some activities, psychic activities, You can look up some things with the Rhine Center, and that way you can practice some of your psychic techniques
Okay.
and do that when it's not in a haunted environment. Sometimes it's going to be great, sometimes it's going to suck, but just keep practicing. Just like if you were a singer, those are muscles. This is
Yep.
a whole other type of consciousness. I loved hearing you say that you were meditating, because being able to go to that ohm inside of your head, that's where you're going to hear, see, feel, smell, taste, even those things that you will. And it's normal for you to sometimes see, it's and you can't hear. Sometimes you'll hear and you can't see. It gets all muddled up. It depends also on the spirit trying to communicate with you. If you're going into a different dimension to communicate with them, because you can do that. But always set, my husband just said it for me because he has to watch me when I'm investigating. Always set boundaries. If you watch Ed and Lorraine Warren, he will set boundaries for her and let her know when to pull out of situations. So get a boo buddy. Don't get another boo buddy that's trying to do a psychic thing during an investigation. Get somebody that's okay. You're going to be, you're going to be the protector. I'm going to be trying to do more of a psychic feeling for this. And then you could switch. But you have to be able to flex those muscles quickly.
Right.
You're going to dig into it. This is what I'm feeling. Hold up. That's not good.
Then one of the things you want to do, I'm going to break in with you real quick.
Do it.
One of the things you guys want to do too is call upon whatever you worship to watch and protect over you. Call your family, because that's what they're there for. Call your spirit guides, even though you don't know who they are. You do have spirit guides. Tell them to watch and protect over you. And then it becomes so much easier because you're not having to think about this stuff. Let it happen, and you've got your protection around you.
Yeah.
See, having a spirit that as a boo buddy, like Gwen has her brother, having a spirit that's a boo buddy is a great feeling, because I've actually heard my grandmother go, because I'm trying to reach out. You know what I'm talking about. Like I'm trying to open myself up, but it sometimes can come across too forward to a spirit that doesn't understand boundaries. And all of a sudden now you're sick, or the next day you feel like you've got the flu and stuff like that. They'll try to pull energy off of you. So, set those boundaries.
Yeah.
Do you know how to shield?
I don't, and that's one of the things. And so with my previous job, I worked at a library that was, in a Revolutionary War town, and we had 3 branches, and the other library I feel like had a almost like a portal or a vortex in there, and it was just constant rotate. It was a revolving door of spirit, and I would get flash images every so often of people coming in, and I would actually, I'm no artist, but I would sketch out their faces that I would see, and I would, I would ask for a name, and I would get a name, and then I would get I would ask for some details, and I would go actually online and put in the name and look for obituaries that had pictures, and I would find these people.
That's wonderful. That's
wonderful. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Now you're a face with the spirit. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I mean, but the second that I saw them, it was like they left. They went back through that door.
Well, you know why? They finally realized, hey, holy crap, this girl can see us. We got to go.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Like there was one time I was literally sitting at the desk checking in books, and I look over and I see, in my mind's eye, I see this little girl who was probably about between 7 and 10. And she was wearing like this, it was like this, like floral dress from like the 30s. And she was so proud of this dress, like her, like like this was her brand new dress. Like it wasn't hand-me-downs or anything. Like this was brand new. And she was so proud of it. And like it was a big day for her. Like her and her family were going to, I think they were going to like a show or to the
Oh,
movies or something. Like
Oh,
it was a big day for her.
oh, nice.
But on the way there or on the way home, they got into like it was raining and they got into a car accident.
oh
Well,
God.
so but the whole time that I saw her, and she stuck around for like 10 minutes. The whole time that I was seeing her, what like she was spinning in a circle, holding her dress out like little girls do, just spinning in a circle, and she was just so proud of that dress. She's like, look at this dress, look at this dress, look at this dress. I'm like, I see
And
it.
she
It's
was
cool.
doing that because she vibed with your energy and felt safe with you. She was
Yeah.
just showing off. It's like, hey, this is my new friend. Look, this is what I can do.
Yeah, I mean that's literally she stood in the same, like I was seeing her in the same spot of the building. Like she didn't move. She just stood in that same spot and just twirled around and was like,
Oh, yeah.
look at it. You see my shoes, you see my dress. Let me tell you this. And
That's
See, I
so
love
sweet.
those. Those are the coolest
Oh,
ones to see. It's like they're so proud that they can show somebody that dress because like you said, it's special to her. And it's like most of the 30s, most people didn't get new dresses. They got hand-me-downs or they were,
right. Well,
and
and
she got,
especially in this location too,
yeah.
because it's such a rural area. It's so where you have tobacco farmers, you have,
Mhm.
these kids were out in the fields helping their parents and grandparents, bring in the harvest
Oh,
every
yeah.
year, every season.
And that's special. I got to tell Candy and David Baird what, all right, David, you asked me first. You were in the Vikings. You were Nordic and you were a farmer and you had a good life and you had many kids. So don't tell me much because you didn't. I mean, yours was wasn't marred by okay, you're somebody raided your farm and killed all your family. No, you lived a good, nice life, and you stay as a farmer most of your life. And you did go to battle when you had to go. But now, Candy, hers, I got several. You just got to come up with the one I want to tell you because there's so many that they're showing me. Okay, you do have one life when you were on a farm down in the Bahamas.
All right,
It's
Ken.
like you come from that side. It looks like you came from French ancestry for that life, and you were part of the aristocracy down in the Bahamas.
Living that island life.
Yeah, she was. That's one of my see for her.
I saw Candy in the 70s, and she
That's the
was
next one.
a hippie.
Oh my
I mean,
God,
flower
the bell
Yes.
bottom,
style.
the bell bottom,
Yes.
And I
the hip
see.
huggers.
Oh, yes, yes, hip huggers and everything. I
Mhm.
saw it all. She was a hitchhiker, going to concerts and everything. She had a little van that she had tricked out. Can you see that bug, the little bug
Oh my
van?
God, yes.
And she'd pile that thing full because she never had to pay for gas. She'd just take everybody, and
Yep,
they would all give her gas money, and they'd go. She could play some music on guitar.
yep.
She's a good person. Always been a good person, but boy, hippie to the bone. And some things never change is what I'm hearing too, right?
You're right. You're right.
That's sweet. She fell in love with a soldier, and he came back with some injuries, and she got him through it.
Right on. That's
Rock
pretty
on,
cool.
Candy. Rock on,
Really.
girl. Well, how can people reach out to you? We've got like 10 minutes left, so I want to make sure everybody has a chance to if they have a question, if there's some place near Myrtle Beach where you guys are, can they reach out to you? And Linnea, it just hit me, sweetheart. I can hold on, it's coming. It was It was in the 20s, and it was a little earlier than that, and I could see you working for women's liberation, for women's right to vote, and very, very smart. And boy, you could type like crazy. You worked for someone that was like a police officer or something. What I'm getting is, the era of Sherlock Holmes. You know how they were all dressed
Okay.
and everything, but you were in like Chicago or someplace. It wasn't Britain or anything like that. So yeah, and that's the thing. You're going to find the reason in all the chaos. And that's your thing. So look for that. You
Okay.
know, it doesn't have to be that you're not a believer about the supernatural or anything. You're okay with it being supernatural, and if that's what it is, then sweet. But I can just tell that you're a great friend to have, and that you can normalize people. That's really cool. I just wanted to tell you, I can really feel you. And
Yeah.
Deborah, girl, you're a mess. I want to have a glass. I want to. You are a mess. I would love to have a glass of muscadine wine and just kick back.
Oh, that would be
And
fun.
yes,
I'd love
and
to
do
sit
some
down with all three
evidence
ladies because
review.
the energy
Yes.
coming
We
off all
can
three of
do
us
it. We
is
can do
amazing.
it.
I love
Well,
it. The energy
when
coming
we
off y'all three is amazing. How you
yes,
guys all have waved into the same wavelength
Mhm.
when you do your investigations. So
Mhm.
it's like
You're like
all of you
Charlie's
are one.
Angels.
I
You
know it's
guys
like
have
all
different
one.
gifts. Yeah.
Well, so just about everybody. So here's a little fun fact about us. There's 7 of us on the team, and 7 of us plus Craig. But there's 7 of us on the team, all women. A year ago, when I started this team, none of us knew anybody. None of us knew each other. We did not, the first time that we met as a team was the first time that we met.
Oh, that's so cool. But look how
And
close you are now.
yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
we've become like family.
Well,
And
You
that's
are.
what we do,
and
blaming
yeah,
and Christopher and Gwen.
Yes.
yeah,
We've known each other. Gwen, I haven't known you as long as I have Christopher and Blaine,
Right.
but hey,
We clicked.
we click.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean,
I mean, it
everybody,
was just like putting pieces to a puzzle together.
yeah,
Yes.
And
Mhm.
this
And
is the cool.
then,
This is the cool thing about this. All three of you have had lives together before.
Yes.
I gave you
Yes, you
Yes.
said it.
I gave
Yes.
Well, I
you
think-
individual ones, but yeah, I'm telling you now, you guys have had at least 10 lives where you guys knew each other, and you
Mhm.
always validate back to each other. Always.
that's awesome.
I think we've actually said that
In that one
before.
podcast episode, we said
Yeah.
we thought that.
Yeah. But yeah, none of us. Yeah.
My husband says, "Hang in there, Craig." He's the only dude.
So we. So I gotta
Poor
tell you,
Craig.
I gotta tell y'all.
He's not gonna do
a
anything
funny,
right.
funny nickname that we have. Well, we didn't give it to Craig, but one of
He
the
gave it to himself.
one of the
No.
investigations that we went on, the owner of the location was like, "Oh, that like picking on Craig. What are you doing with all these women?" Da 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 da.
He's smart.
It's almost
doubt.
like he's like it was almost like you're a rock band or something. And the owner goes, "Huh, Craig and the Boo Bees." And so now it's like he loves it.
That's hilarious.
So like the name has stuck.
Craig and the
That is
boobies.
cool.
Craig and the
That is
Boo.
cool.
Oh Lord. And he's in
And-
the booby trap, right?
In the booby trap. Not the booby trap.
So but yeah. So it-
I'm sorry, I could just see him in the
Me too.
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see anything from my past lives with my indigenous heritage?
Oh, yeah. Which one do you want? You've had 3. You've had Cherokee Creek
I see the creek one.
And look, Lakota, go figure, Lee.
Yeah.
Didn't you say that, Deborah, at one point? Lakota?
The Lakota one, you lived longer.
Yep.
Yeah, one of them you died kind of early. You couldn't help it. It was just a thing. Anyway, we'll pick this up, okay? Because we've got just a few minutes. We got just a few minutes left on the show, and I have to do the blessing, and I want to make sure that we can use this as an encore in case we can't go live sometime. So this is going to be for all of our viewers. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that we tickled your funny bone, and we also gave you something to think about. This is a Navajo blessing. Go forth in peace. Be still within yourself and know that the trail is beautiful. May the winds be gentle on your face and your direction be straight and true as the flight of the eagle. Walk in beauty and harmony and with God and all people. Thank you for listening to Family Spirit International. I'm going to figure out how to end it. I'm going to do it. I really am.
Hey, I snuck in here, guys.